Hey, so the first thing you're going to want to do is download each of your worlds as an SPZ file. So you go over here to Splat and you click download. That's going to take a couple seconds and you go and do for each world you want to connect. So I've already created the worlds. So now it's just left for me to download them and use them later. So also going to download this one. Also going to download this one and so on. Hey, so once you've loaded your Gaussian splats into your project directory, we're going to introduce a new concept known as collision boxes. The idea of collision boxes is that once you enter a collision box, it triggers an event. So it could be print hello world, print Bob, play a sound. But for the sake of our purposes, it's going to be enter or transition to a new Gaussian splat once you've entered the collision box that's assigned to a painting. Right, so that's the way we're going to be able to create a portal from one Gaussian splat to another. Right? But how do we do that? Because we don't have Godot, Unity, Blender, where we can draw these collision boxes onto the paintings. So we're going to do something really interesting. We're going to use coordinates. So what we do in our code, I'm not going to focus on the exact syntax, but what we do is that we log our coordinates. So we're able to see where in the Gaussian spot we are. So what we can do with that information is we can go to a painting over here. And then we can say, okay, this painting is at negative 1.15, 1.02, negative 2.19, right? The painting is over there, so I can draw a collision box. I can place it at these exact coordinates and say, when I enter this collision box, X should happen. However, we're not going to just take those coordinates. We're going to draw a cuboid. We're going to draw a cube rather, and to draw that cube, we're going to take the lowest point of the cube and the highest point, and those 2 points are diagonally opposed, right? So we're going to take the lowest point of this. If this was our center, the lowest point would be negative 2.15. If it's a 1 unit cube, negative 2.15, 0.02, negative 3.19, and the highest point is just plus 1 on the center. So let's go to our actual code. I already logged coordinates earlier, so I'm just going to use those coordinates. But feel free to change the size of your cube or cuboid and go from there. So let's just go over here. There's something I want to correct. So this start position here isn't the coordinates we're changing. This is actually where you load in space when the world loads in. So if I was to enter a new world, I would start at 0, 1.62, right? That's the coordinates I'll start at. The coordinates we're going to actually change is over here in the portals. So you're going to go over here. These are the coordinates we're going to use as our center of our cube, our 1 unit cube. And now we're just going to do some quick math. So if it's a 1 unit cube, we subtract 1 from the lowest point and then add 1 from the highest point. So let's do negative 2.06, 0.02, and negative 3.11. And let's add 1. So that's going to be 0.06, 2.02, and then 1.11. And that's to get the trick done, or you get the job done rather. And now we're going to reload this world. We're going to go to the site, and hopefully the portal exists over there. And remember, again, these collision boxes are invisible, so we're not going to see anything there. But once we enter the space of the collision box, something will happen. So let's go over here. So you see we enter the space of the 1 unit cube, and from there we can enter our new world of the painting. So give it a second to load. And boom, you've been able to transition to a new world. So this is in contrast to the previous method we showed where you do everything in marble and you basically just erase some parts of the Gaussian splat and connect it to another part of the Gaussian splat. I personally prefer this approach if you don't necessarily have any direct doorways or gateways that you can draw against, because we're really using we're using weird shapes here. We have like rooms, we have paintings, so it's a bit weird to use. But if you had doors and gateways that are easily connectable, kind of like train tracks, then you could easily just do it all in marble. So once you have this, you can also do some extra code to add stuff like back to main, and stuff along those lines. I'm not going to do each one because the general idea is there. I'm also not going to focus too much on the syntax because I'm going to provide the code in the link of this video. But overall, I think that's the idea you can use to build some cool stuff, whether it's for a game, whether it's for exploration, like with this museum, our museum idea. And you can just do some stuff there. So like you don't even have to stick to this methodology. It's just to show one way you can quickly get the coordinates and draw portals along that. You can also plug into stuff like Unity, Godot, and other tools. But yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything else I want to show in this video. I could quickly show, this is something I didn't introduce before, but these are just controls because I didn't want to just use the mouse. So over here, when I'm actually moving, I'm using the up, down, left, and right key, or I can use WASD. Let me stay here. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me or send a message. Besides that, I have nothing to say, so have a great day.